There's about 20 of us from this club who was there last year, and we had a marvellous time. 750,000 people in a week. They get 10,000 aircraft in, and today we've got Peter Yates. Step forward, Peter. Who a couple of years ago flew into Oshkosh in a Texan. We've had other members who have flown in. Neil Rear's flown an aircraft into Oshkosh as well, and they've been mixing it with what is sometimes termed an aluminium overcast. Aeroplanes everywhere. So Peter has got a great deal of experience in aviation. If you remember, he's spoken on the Mustang. He flew Wiley's Mustang when it was here. He flies with the Air Combat Group down the road, and has experience. I met him first in the cockpit of a 747 on the way home from Hong Kong. He gave me a good look at what he was doing and then invited me to sit in on the landing. I reckon he's a good bloke. Peter, over to you.
Okay, where is Oshkosh and what is it? For those that don't know, Oshkosh is in Wisconsin and about 300 k's northwest of Chicago, as depicted on the map. And the next question I guess it leads to is, what is Oshkosh? Oshkosh, I guess, is the mecca for aviators in the world. It's a show, a bit like the Royal Show, where everything is on display, from all the wares, the stalls, the products that people are trying to flog, new ideas, warbirds, home builds, just general aviation, full stop. The topic of this thing of getting into Oshkosh, it is a bit different to get the aircraft in there. So what they do is, because of the numbers involved, if you just think of 10,000 in a matter of a few days, it equates to about 4 aircraft a minute for 10 days for 4 days. Sorry, for 10 hours for 4 days to get to your 10,000 number, give or take a few. So what they do is, the airport's completely under control of the Oshkosh Tower. There's both the old and the new one they've just built there last year, and they completely control the airport for the 2 weeks. And so it's all controlled by this NOTAM booklet, which I have the original here. I think there's about 30 odd pages in this book telling you how to get into Oshkosh. It's going forward again. The main runways there, to land 4 aircraft a minute, they have these spots. So you'll be told, for instance, in this example, that you might be landing on the purple while another guy's landing on the blue and rolling through, etc. So it's very much controlled, but no, the radio is only one way. They give you the instruction, and they're typical things like aircraft with the yellow wings, if you hear this, rock your wings, clear to land. And there's no answers. It just makes it very simple. Part of the NOTAM instructions, as an example here, we've got this one called FISC. FISC being just a little area, and very much so that you've shown in the book how you've got to come by this particular highway and railroad track, and they even have these painted lines on the ground for those that can't follow the instructions. It does work very well when you think of the numbers involved. And there again is a Google picture of those painted spots on the ground, and that's just exactly how it is. The tower was built last year, the big one in the front, and the one at the back has just been pulled down, and they actually sold the bricks from it for people that want to keep souvenirs. The few words down the bottom, as you can see, if you're landing somewhere in the higher speeds, 2,300 foot separation. I'm not too sure how they measure that, mind you. And obviously for slower aircraft, that separation between aircraft one behind the other is reduced a little. All the air traffic controllers, of which there's obviously lots of them in the tower itself, they all wear these pink shirts, and there's just as many on the ground at all the different places telling you where to go, and it's all by hand signal. Taxiing, you acknowledge that you received a signal and you get pointed down the next taxiway. Having read this book, when I was planning, I was very lucky to be given an invitation to fly a warbird, a Texan, into Oshkosh last year, And so I sent away and got the book and read all these instructions. And it wasn't until I got to just about the end of the book that I found this section on turbine and warbird arrival. So all the instructions I had read previously went out the window, because this one was a very simple little one, starting from the bottom up through the lake and straight into the airport. And to make it even easier, I was flying one of these aircraft together with 6 others, so I was in a formation, and the team that I was with, one bloke always leads, so I had the privilege of sitting in the back and just following. So got rid of all of this stuff altogether and just followed the leader, which made it very easy. Again, just on one of the American maps and highlighting the track. Milwaukee's sort of just about down here, and I came up from just a bit south of Milwaukee and with all these other guys. Very complicated notes. That's the back of my hotel envelope. And you transfer everything that you really need to read in this book and put it into one's language, because again, in a warbird type thing, there's not a lot of space to spread out all your plans. So that was my notes in the back of the envelope. And as I said before, because I was a follower, I just kept behind the leader and everything was great. It's amazing with radios over there, you think it's how complicated it is, and we only ever were on one radio frequency. I think it's great how they operate. Mass arrivals, they come in, because of these aeroplanes coming in droves, they do a lot of these group type arrivals, and just as an example here, there's a group of Bonanzas and Cessnas that came in together. And not me, but that was typical of the aeroplane that I flew in and out of Oshkosh last year. Last but not least, like always, any questions? Thank you very much.